In this video, we're going over the second paycheck budget for the month of August. We've already got the money. We've been had the money, I think, last week. I know we're late, but I tell you guys all the time, late is better than never. So we're going to go ahead and budget it out, but we're also going to do a little cash stuffing. We don't do it often, and I always say that cash stuffing for us is better. It's just we know that where our money is going, right? With that cash stuffing, if you say you have $50, once you have 50, when you're out of the $50, there's nothing left. Don't spend the credit card or swipe the credit card. So that's why it works better for us. So we're going to do a little cash stuffing as well as our budgeting for the second paycheck budget. Now, if you don't know, I post a blog post every Sunday on paperbymo.com. Okay. So make sure you go to paperbymo.com to go check it out. Also, if you're like, girl, I mean, I can go to the website, but I want the actual links, they are posted below. Now, if you're on your financial freedom journey, like I'm on my financial freedom journey, you're like, you know what? I like you. Okay. I like watching videos, little cash stuffing, budgeting, monthly budgets, student loan payoff, boo. And you can relate to that. Go ahead and join the community by clicking that subscribe button and stay tuned. Okay, so this right here is our budget planner. I know it's a binder, but it's a budget planner. So now we're going to go ahead and get into, every time I open it, I see, this is why I put it in the front. I look into the 2025 bingo. What is it? August, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So August, start of September, that means we're on the third quarter. I have not checked off anything in that second quarter. So I definitely got to circle back and look and see what I want to do, check off. Some things need to be checked off, but that's gonna be a whole nother video. Anyways, this is why I keep put it in the front. So I gotta remind myself. Okay, so let's go to August and let's look at the paydays. First of all, we got paid on the 1st, the 15th, and 29th. This month, August, is a 3 paycheck month for us. We usually get paid twice. However, there happens to be 3 Fridays that we're getting paid. Now, my husband and I are both bi-weekly and we get paid at the same time, kind of, sort of. I get paid on like a Wednesday, Thursday. He gets paid on Friday. So we just constitute it all as Friday because it just makes it easier. So we're doing that second paycheck budget. And then again, if you haven't seen the monthly August budget, make sure you guys go check that out. But here's the quote for August: you will only benefit from tracking expenses if you actually take action and do things different the next time. Let me tell you something. Every time I see that, I just roll my eyes because I know it's calling me out. It's calling me out. So let's go ahead. We got the August monthly budget, the first paycheck budget, and now the second paycheck budget. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. If you don't know, I do write hard, so I'm going to take out all these 3 papers and I write to the side. So I like to just write on them all, and we're going to put this along the side and go from there. Okay, so this is where we are. This is going to be for our second paycheck budget, making sure it's thick enough for me. And let's find us a pen. Here we are right here. If you don't know, I like a Pilot pen. I just like the way they write. I don't write the cutest or the neatest, but it gets the job done. Okay, so this paycheck, the second paycheck, is for what, the 15th? And again, we're a little behind. We're probably more than a little behind, but here we are. So let's go ahead and put paycheck number 2, and we're gonna put 081525 because that's when we receive the money. No, it's not the 15th now, but we're just trying to keep track for our records when we go back the end of the year or at the end of the quarter and we just see like the progress. Sometimes you just want to know when that money came in. Okay, so if you do not know, we do a zero-based budgeting. Simply stated, every dollar has a job, right? So we try to budget out to 0. Now, it may not always be actually 0. We might leave a little money for a cushion, whatever the case is, right? That's usually where that money goes. So when we say starting, we like to start off with 0 unless we're not starting with 0. Now, there's times when we're not starting with 0. Maybe there was something unaccounted for. Maybe something hit last minute. But 0 is our goal, basically, to start off with. Now, there's 2 incomes. There's my husband's income, and then there is my income. And these are our full-time jobs. I'm going to say O's full-time, that's my husband, and then I'm going to say Mo's full-time, and that's moi. Okay, so my husband brought in $2,051.77. Okay, and then I brought in, I'm on salary, so it doesn't usually change unless maybe I'm getting a bonus or I'm getting a raise, or every now and then I do like change our tax situation because taxes is crazy and I just really want us to not owe, but we'll see. So $3,079.71. So my husband had $2,051.77. So let's put that down, $2,051.77 plus $3,079.71. That's $5,131.48. This is just one more time. $2,051.77. Okay. $2,079.71. Okay. 131.48. Okay, so that's what we're gonna put over here. And you're thinking, well, first of all, you guys already know what the numbers is. It actually came in, but we're going to put down budgeted where there should go. And then we close out the second paycheck budget just to make sure we put the money where we said we were going to put the money. Okay, so that's $5,131.48. Again, my writing is not the best. So if you don't know, my husband and I, we like to split up our rent payment in 2 different payments. So instead of it just being number one, the first paycheck, we like to take it out the first and second paycheck. Okay, so that way it's like a lesser blow. I hope that makes some type of sense. So let's put down our reals, fixed expenses. I was trying to basically say rent and bills, reals. So fixed expenses are our bills category. So we're gonna put rent, and then the only one that we have to take care of in this one is water and sewage, which both of them come out the same within the same account, right? So they're both being paid to our apartment complex. So we pay $772.50, and then when it comes to water sewage, we get $52.50. Now, I was saying in another video, especially or even post, with our electricity bill for the month of August being so much more money, we didn't budget it that money, but we were never in the negative because we have cushion, right? Like I said, it maybe on paper it might look cushion, and I need to do like some screenshots to show you guys. But like for our water and sewage, it's never $52.50 times 2, which is $105. It's never that much. It's maybe $52 to $70, but we always give a little extra just in case something else is more, or maybe the water and sewage is more. You know, these are things that kind of fluctuate, although it says fixed. So this is why we do what we do. So $772.50, and then we're gonna plus $52.50, $825. So $825 and $825 to our actual rent will give $16.50, and it's usually like $16.20, $16.13, $16 something, you know. Okay, so $16.50.
I made a mistake.
And what we'll do is take $5,131.48, and then we'll subtract that $16.50. Now we have a remainder, $3,481.48. $3,481.48. Now we're gonna go from fixed expenses to our variable expenses, and both of these 2 are our needs, right? This is necessary. We got to get these both covered. And then what we have left over, our gap, goes to savings and debt. That's what I think I'm going to do for the next video. I'm going to talk to you guys. I'm going to do a budget and chat with me, because you guys know I love to yap, or yap with me, whatever. And we'll talk about that gap, because I've had people message me personally on Instagram, and they're like, oh, how do I get my gap to be bigger? Honestly, you got to lessen your bills on your expenses and make more money. There's really no other way to do it or to explain it. Now, that can be kind of hard, but and I definitely understand, but that's the truth of the matter. The only way to widen that gap where you have a little bit more left over. So it's a lot, and it's nuanced. It's not so easy to do. It's easy to say, but this is the truth of the matter. Okay, now we're going to go to the variables. So we have food, and then we're gonna do gas. And again, like I said, these are both necessary. We need these. We need gas. So I can go to my job. He needs gas so he can go to his job. We need food because we got to eat. Now, we don't per se need fun, but again, our fun expenses, oops, that's an N, guys, are subjective. So my husband gets his haircut, and we probably need to up his money, or start taking it from sinking funds. I don't know, because my husband used to pay like, I don't know, $30, $35. And now he said they're going up to 40. It's actually ridiculous. So I always thought men got the haircut for like 10, 15. Clearly I'm delusional. And he was like, yeah, maybe 10, 15 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay, my bad. So food, we're trying to give $250. When it comes to gas, we upped it a little bit, $5. 35. Even though gas, it hasn't been really, really high, I just think where we live, the gas is a little higher. We got to make sure we go to Costco, and that line is not inviting. Okay, we don't like it too much because of the line, but our coins prefer it. So we'll see about that. We're probably going to go back down to 30 maybe in September or whatever, because I fear winter is coming early. It's been a little chilly. I'm not mad, because I prefer the chill over the heat, but I don't want snow. Good God almighty, don't want snow. Okay, so gas, 35 for him, 35 for me, and then we're gonna do fun. We're gonna do 50. So right now, when it's come to like my husband's haircuts and stuff, what we do is we just reimburse my husband from our sinking funds. I hope that makes some type of sense, because again, why would you just, this is why I'm saying like fun is subjective, and I know people feel some type of way. I've gotten comments before saying, oh, $50 for fun is just way too much for each person. At one point, we were doing like $30 for fun. Somebody was like, oh my gosh, you can have fun for free. Got it. Cool. Thank you. Taking it in, and that's what we say, like, take what you need and leave what you don't. If you don't like that part of our budget, I understand. But some stuff is not, that's why it's personal. Some stuff doesn't apply to you like it applies to us. So for me, maybe I want to get my toes done. To get a pedicure where we live, it costs $35, and I give tips. So maybe that fun money will address my pedicure. There's so many different things. I am ranting. Here we are. So variable expenses, we got $250 for food, plus $35 for his gas, plus $35 for her gas, plus $50 for him fun, and $50 for me fun. That is $420. Just checking on the side, make sure my numbers are right. Yep, okay. So that's $420. Now we're gonna take $3,481 and 41 cents, and then we're gonna subtract 420. Okay, so now this right here is our gap. 3,061.44. Nope, 41. Why do I do what I do? Like sometimes I'll look too fast and I'll just write a number down. $3,061.41. So this number is our gap. So it is wide, really, because the second paycheck budget, we don't address like all of our bills. We do that in the first one, but even here, this is the actual, because we closed it. It was 1684, 70 or 99. Is that a 9? Yep, 99. And so once I didn't do the actual because we had to figure out our gas. But even here, right, we said $3,000, and it is a decent number, and I'm so grateful to God. My husband and I, we are genuinely grateful. But this is our gap number, the difference of what we need to spend when it comes to food, our four walls, cars, electricity, internet, crap like that, right? And then what we can disperse to other things. So this number is going to go to savings and debt. So now we're going to go right here and we're going to move it on up. All right, to the savings category. And now we're going to talk. So this savings category, we're going to have to talk about this new account that my husband and I are attempting to make. And I will talk while I write so you guys can get to know everything. Okay, so first of all, I have an emergency fund and my husband has an emergency fund. My husband's emergency fund is about $10,000 something. Mine's about $12,000. I get the question a lot. Why do you guys have emergency funds that are separate? It's really because I had an emergency fund before him, and I was creating it before we got married. We were dating. And same thing with him. He was creating his before we got married, and he was creating it. So my husband said he believes that it was fair for his emergency fund to be equally yoked, meaning my goal was 10,000, although I exceeded that a little bit, maybe like 12 to about 12,000. So maybe $2,000, whatever the case may be, right? Maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000. So he was like, it's only fair if I, being my husband, got his emergency fund to 10,000. So that is why we kept it separate. He was like, hey, I want to do what you've been doing. And I said, okay, cool, let's do it. So my husband has an emergency fund. I have an emergency fund. Now, what we realize what we don't have is one together. So we are saving for a few things in life, right? We're putting money towards our IRA. We're putting money for a house. That is the main goal, to put a down deposit on a house. And woof, these houses in the DMV are so expensive. I don't know what we're going to do. That's a whole nother topic. Whole nother topic. I mean, for a shack made out of tinfoil. Anyways. So we're saving money for a house. We have sinking funds because we have, holidays that we're saving for. We have licenses to get guns or certifications, things like that. Those are also things that we're saving for. So one thing we don't have is a mutual or a joint fund. I don't even want to call it emergency fund, a joint fund. So what my husband said, he wants to call it like a family fund. So what our last names are, we would put that and then do fund. So if your last name is Smith, it'd be the Smith fund. If your last name is Harris, Harris fund, or whatever, right? That is what we're basically trying to make. But we're going to start off making that fund in cash. I know. Who do we think we are? Y'all, I don't know. So we're just going to put cash F fund. So that F is for family. So you're thinking, okay, so what are we saving money for? Great question, because I was thinking the same thing, right? So let me explain it to you. So obviously we want a house and we're saving for that. But obviously we're a family. My husband and I together married our family, and one day we might possibly want children. We need money saved. We also are talking about an animal, okay? Maybe a dog, maybe a cat. You need money saved. First, you got to buy the thing, and then they got the shots, and then they got the upkeep, they got food, all the things, the grooming, the service. So this is not going to be like a huge fund, but we just want to save for some other things that we want to do together, okay? So I say together because we create a child together. We purchase or adopt or whatever it is, a fur baby together. And fur babies cost money, especially if you live in an apartment. Your rent goes up, right? And you have a non-refundable expense that you have to give them outright. Maybe it's $5, some people it's $3, some people it's $700. It depends on the apartment complex. So these are things that we're talking about that we want to have for our family. And so this is why we have created this, and it is called our family fund. Like I said, if depending on your last name, in our minds or when we discuss or budget privately, we put our last name at the front, but we're just calling it a family fund, but we're saying cash because that's what it is. All right. So now that has been explained, let's go into the savings and these categories and what we're doing. So when it comes to my husband IRA, we're doing 200, and then I'm doing 200. Let's go back to the monthly. The goal for IRA was 600. So 200 a check will do us right. 2, 4, and then the next one will be 6. So that works. Now house, the goal is to always save $1,000 per check. So here we are. So that's 1,000. Again, the goal right now is 50,000 by the end of 2025. Doesn't mean per se we're going to actually get a house. We don't want to be bamboozled or forced into purchasing something because maybe our lease is up or we hit the goal to save. Like, it needs to be right for us. So there's 1,000. And then sinking funds, we are also giving 1,000 to, because this month we are taking our first step, like our first class for our license to carry in the state of Maryland. And Maryland doesn't have like any reciprocity. They said, we don't care where you got your license from and what state, you gotta do it here. So that's what we're doing. That's why we're doing $1,000. Okay, so now our cash F fund, aka family fund, I'm going to come back to this because I did my numbers on the side and they weren't all correct. So what we want to do, well, no, it doesn't even matter because I already took the cash out, guys. So let's just do what we said we was going to do, okay? So this right here is going to be $450. So that's going to be cash. So let's do something. We're going to do, at the math, 200 for his IRA plus 200 for her IRA plus $1,000 for house plus $1,000 for sinking fund plus $450. So that's $2,850. Okay. $2,850. I just want to make sure I'm right. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. $2,850. All right. So now we're going to take $3,061 and what is that? 41 cents. Y'all, I'll be struggling. $61.41, and then we're gonna subtract 2,000. Wait, did I put 3,000? Y'all, $3,061.41. Then we're gonna subtract $2,850. So now it's saying there's $211. 211. Something is not right. Some math is not math. And let me see. You guys, my numbers and my fixed expenses are tripping. Look at that, $1,650. I put the number for our actual rent. That's actually $825. $772 50 plus $52.50 is $825.
You'll get through it. She's tough.
Girl, why did you put 16? I was like, I know either we're going to be in negative because, mind you, we already took this money out. We're either going to be in negative or something is not right. So let's go ahead and wipe this out. We're going to put 825 and then redo all of these numbers. That sucks. I know, but it's life. This is real in the raw. Okay, so let's do, this is what happens when you be yapping and running your mouth. Okay, so 825 is the total here. 825. Gotta make sure I don't write hard, because when you write hard on this type of whiteout, y'all, it just don't do good. Okay, so we have $5,131.48, and then we're gonna subtract 825. So now we have $4,306.48. Okay, and this is the reason why I didn't look to the side. It's baffling to me, okay? Because, girl, all you have to do is just look to the side. Look to the side where your numbers were at. Okay. All right. So that's the dollar sign. Writing light and faint. Very demure. Very cutesy. Okay, so 4,306.48. And then we're going to move down. It was 420. So we're going to take 4,306.48 and we're going to subtract 420. So now we have $3,886.48. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just do that back number. Okay. Just like that. So we have $3,886.48. So now we take $3,886.48. Now, this is what I was saying. I was like, oh, I'll just wait to the end to say what we're going to do for the cash fund, because we budgeted on our own a little less than $2,051. We knew my husband were going to bring in $2,000, but we didn't know he was going to bring in that $51. So we know we're going to have a little bit more left over than we thought. So $3,886.48, and we're going to subtract $2,850. $2,850. So now we have $1,036.48. So that's remaining $1,036.48. Now we're going to take this and we're going to go to debt. So this is going to be for my student loans. My husband's student loans are growing interest. The difference is my student loans are substantially higher. So what we're doing is we're giving his student loans money. We're giving my student loans money, but we're just giving mine a little bit more. If you look at that first paycheck, We gave $561 to both, right? He doesn't owe a bill at the moment, so we put $0. But for this, we're giving $1,000, and then you'll see the third paycheck because we just changed our mind with the wind. I got to be honest. So we gave $1,000. Now again, I know what you're thinking, okay? So the total here is 1,000. You're thinking, you said zero-based budget. I know. We just really budgeted it off wrong. So what we're going to do is that 3648 is going to be our, we're going to put that in our bill account. That's what we've done already. We're going to put that in our checking account that our bills come out of. And so we always leave a little cushion just in case electricity is higher, internet's higher, water, sewage is higher, whatever is higher, it'll be able to come from that. So that's where we're going to put that money. Now, my husband and I did discuss when it comes to that money, we kind of got a few hundreds in there. And when I say a few hundreds, a little bit over 400 or 500. Okay. So we're discussing, should we only keep for safety or cushion, maybe 100, maybe 2, but that amount, we're thinking maybe we should put it in investments. Maybe we should put it towards debt. We'll take it and put it in cash and put it towards our family fund. So we got different things we're thinking about doing, different things. Let's get some highlighters and let's highlight this baby out. So first things first, we know what she is, and she is our oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? You guys know what I'm saying. It's gonna come back to me. I'm just gonna wait. It's gonna come back to me. But also, let's talk about cash. So this is gonna be cash. This cat, obviously it says cash fund. Okay, so we're in orange. And then another thing in cash is fun from my husband and fun from moi. Okay. Now our sinking fund is not in cash. We like to put that in our high yield savings account. So there we have it. Now, why can't I think of the word? I feel like I just said it. So we're just gonna call that safety, right? Cushion, safety. I don't know, y'all. Let's do safety, just in case. That's a T, I promise. And then this orange is cash. Okay, so now that we got all of this situated, this is the actual second paycheck budget. Oh my God, I feel like it took a year and 45 days. Now we're gonna get into this money. Okay, so this is what we got back from the bank. That's why it says bank. I'm gonna go ahead and read to you all the sticky note that I gave the bank, which is $400 in hundreds, $100 bills, $150 and $50 bills, and then $100 in 20s. So we equal out to $650. Okay, that is what we're working with. Now I'm going to show you where it needs to go where, but I'm really not sort of kind of cash stuffing it too much, just because we haven't been doing that, and we don't even have like the wallets, the necessity of it that I'm used to us doing. So let's just talk about these numbers. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 550. Hold on. Was that backwards? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So that's $650. Okay, so $650. Now, when it comes to fun, really fast, one is for me and one is for my husband. Now, these are going to go in our wallets. I'm going to put this off to the side. And now, another thing we're going to do is 450. So 100, 200, 300, 400. $50. So this 450 is going to be for our cash family fund. I'm pulling out an old binder, y'all. Haven't done it in so long. So we have savings, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to put, again, $450. Okay, and we're going to go from there. Now you're thinking, what is this $100 for 2, 4, 6, 8, 100? So what I guess I should do is kind of like half or not half when it comes to food. So a little half. So basically $150 we already spent on our cards that we just decided to pay ourselves back because, we already spent it. But we had $100 that we basically left in the balance. So it was 250, we spent 150. So I was like, okay, let's just do cash for what's left. So this $100 is gonna last us for the rest of the week, and then we get paid again. So that's what we're gonna do with this 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, our issue that my husband and I have when it comes to food and why we end up spending so much, he'll go to the grocery store while I'm at work, and then I'll go to the grocery store, like, because my husband works overnight while he's asleep. So we kind of like keep going back and forth to the grocery store. So it's hard for us when it comes to cash because, like, do we split the number? If it's $200, you get 100, I get 100. Or like, what if he's going to Costco? Maybe he's gonna get some soap, or he's gonna get some tissue or paper towels. This is why we kind of struggle. I'm just being honest. But what we're gonna do with this 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, I'm gonna give my husband 60 and I'm gonna take 40. And you're thinking, why? Because he probably goes shopping more often than I do. Because he works overnight and he gets off in the morning, he's able to hit up the stores in the morning while nobody's there. Me, not so much. I'm hitting up the stores when I get off work and everybody else is getting off work. So this is why he probably is going to spend more money than me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give him that $60 and I'm going to take 40, and then I'm going to have my fun money. He's going to have his fun money. And now we have our new family cash fun account. Fund, not fun, funding. So it's the savings. That's what I should say. Our new family cash savings. Because I did say F fund, family fund, but I'm just going to say savings because that's what it's under. And again, like I said, this is going to be, when we decide to start having children, when we decide that we want some animals, things like that, they're going to come up. There's always savings. And I know some people are probably thinking, why not just use your emergency fund? And maybe children and animals are emergencies, but they're going to be around for decades and decades to come, right? So an emergency is still going to arise with the children, with the fur babies, all those things. So we're just deciding to just start making another savings and going from there. Now, will it always be in cash? We don't know. You guys know we change our mind with the wind. So here we are starting off a family account. And again, it's starting in cash. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a whirlwind. This was a lot of mistakes, a lot of hiccups, but this is literally life budgeting with Mo. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.